Here's another episode, and thanks for joining us again at What I've Learned podcast with your host, Mark Blair, and co-host Grant Crawford. We have a real special guest today, Gogo Bethke from Michigan. She is known as a social media queen in real estate. If you haven't seen her on Facebook, I'm sure you will. You'll find her easily on Instagram and other social media sites. She has really built up a name for herself through the social media platform. So today we want to welcome you, Gogo. Thanks for being on What I've Learned podcast. And can you first off tell us a little bit about yourself, a backstory, and how you got started in this business and how you even considered the business of real estate?
So let me do my job right now, What I Learned podcast, so I can tag you so you can see it in action as we are doing it. And then I'm going to tag you both. So it's MI Realtor number 7, because this is how this works, guys. This is how I have anything is literally by tagging, hashtagging, tagging location, tagging people.
Right.
Using the right hashtag so we can go right into it right after I can tag.
We're getting a live demonstration right now as we speak. So.
Mr. Realtor, yeah.
I have a lot of questions about it because I'm big into learning as much as I can about just the whole social media game.
That's awesome. So I tagged you both, and now we are in biz. Okay, so licensed realtor since 2011. I was a stay-at-home mom at the time. As you can hear from my accent, I'm a foreigner. Just as you said, Mark, I guess that you lived in a few countries. I lived in a few myself. Right. So I came to the U.S. for the American dream. And
what year was that and how long ago was that?
2003. So I came as a live-in nanny. And I met my husband 2 months after I was here. And 2 months after that, I was moved in. And 2 months after that, we were married. So it's been 18 years now.
A lot of TV shows like that.
Yeah, what is the 90-Day Fiancé?
90-Day Fiancé.
Yeah, I've been there. Not a show, but been there, done that. So I'm, you know when you know. You told me your story with your wife, and you just know when you know. And this is that story. This is our 18th year of being together and married. And not until 2011, so 8 years after we were married, I was a stay-at-home mom at the time. And our neighbor is the marketing director for Capital Title, local title company here in Michigan. And she thought I would make a great realtor. It was actually her idea, not even mine in the first place. And she thought I was social and, had the right personality. So she went and talked to a real estate company called Real Estate One for me. She talked to a broker, recommended, made the appointment, went in. They offered to pay for my school if I passed my licensing. So my investment of becoming a realtor is $0. They paid for my school with my first closing. They gave my money back. And that was it. The rest is history. And now we are 11 years in. And today I'm called the social media queen of real estate because I had to become really good at social media because I had nothing else going for me. I had no sphere. I barely spoke English. I had not a cousin on this continent that's going to buy a house from me. No college education, no money to buy Zillow leads, no work experience. Like, seriously, I had nothing.
I like this part because a lot of people, they start off by thinking like, oh, I've got to buy leads to even get this thing going. And
Never.
So many organic.
No. And I'm also the sorest loser, though. And I live life by quotes. So there's a lot of different quotes that kind of started the fire in me. But the very first one was, then I realized that I'm an entrepreneur at heart, is the one that says that you better build your dreams or someone will hire you to build theirs. So the team's setup never worked for me because I knew I will die trying building my own brand before I will build somebody else's. I also knew that I was cheap and broke.
Right.
So I knew
that starting a real estate business.
Yeah, exactly. So then you're like, okay, Gogo, how are you going to make it? Exactly. That's what everybody was thinking. Like, what the heck? There is she again taking another selfie. But I couldn't afford at first to buy a lead. And then, after a few years, it just kind of became, I always joke that it's against my religion. My goal is to teach everyone how to fish, not to buy a fish. Because if you don't have money to buy a fish, you'll be hungry.
Yeah. Absolutely. So when you get started off doing this, how did you start figuring out what's working and what's not working? At what point did it start making sense for you, and at what point did your business start to grow?
So I had the luxury that my husband worked in corporate America, and his money was enough to pay the bills. So I wasn't the one of like, oh shoot, I have to make money and I need to make money now. So knowing that, and knowing that I'm also a source loser you ever meet, and I'm also a researcher, like I need to understand things. I hate not understanding things. So the first thing I did when I walked into that office, I went and knocked on every top producer's office and I said, how do you do what you do and why do you do what you do? And how much is it costing you? So I did my research and everybody pretty much was or buying leads. Like I remember at the time, one of the agents was paying $4,500 a month, which for me, I just wanted to make $4,500 a month. Like I would have been like, if I could just make $4,500 this month, I would be so happy, not spend $4,500. So that was out of their thing. Then the other was cold calling. And I was like, oh my gosh, no, my name is Gogo. And I have, at that time, this is 11 years ago, like my accent was way worse than what it is today. Plus my name is Gogo. It's like the wrong 1-800 phone number. So that's not for me. Plus it's against my religion. I will not beg someone for their business. Nope. They're lucky they get to work with me. And I always had that attitude from day one. And then the next one was farming, which again, it's costed thousands of dollars, sending thousands of postcards out and all of those things. I knew the list of things that it requires to be a top producer, the standard list of things, buy leads, cold call, farm, or not. Nope. So then I said, okay, I know what I'm not willing to do. Process of elimination. What does that leave me with? Because I'm also the source loser. If I'm doing anything, I'm on the top of the list or not on the list at all. So I figured, okay, I know what I'm not willing to do. What am I going to do then to put my name on that list of top producers? And so at that time, it really left me with nothing but social media that I was generationally easy for me. I was already very active on it because my family is back in Romania. So that's the way how I see everybody is on Facebook is so that way I'm not homesick because I see everybody getting married, having kids, going on vacation. So I feel like I'm partaking. That and then that was the only thing I could afford. So that's how social media started. So I created Gogo's Real Estate on Facebook. And at first I was like, what am I going to post about? Because I don't have anything going on. Mm-hmm. Like I don't have a listing. So then I pretty much just took the one thing that it's very, very important. Well, two things very important when you decide to do social media. Number one, to realize that you have to share the good, bad, and the ugly because the truth always comes to surface. So whatever you are doing, you are just sharing the good, bad, and the ugly, the truth and the truth alone. And number two, that we are not selling real estate. Not at all. We are selling ourselves and our services. So those two things I already had. Because I'm like, that's easy because I can only say the truth. If you know me, it just comes right out. I can't stop it.
Get over yourself.
So I had the first part down. And then the second part, I had no transactions to market. So I was marketing myself from day one.
Right. So how soon did your business start picking up by doing this?
Well, can you live off of $16,000 in the first year?
Yeah.
Not really, but I made $16,000 in my first year.
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah. Second, I doubled it. Then I doubled it. Then I doubled it. Then I doubled it. Then I doubled it.
That's how it goes. Yeah. Once you get your ball rolling, once you start getting momentum, you start just doubling it and you start growing.
Yeah.
Typically, it's usually for someone who's chasing it hard. They're usually doubling it.
Yeah. So I pretty much doubled it every year. I just started with a cute little snowball, a $16,000 snowball. Imagine if I started with $1 million snowball and doubled it every year for 11 years.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
It's just math.
Right.
Yeah. Now, so what were some of like your big, I guess, like growing pains or real learning instances from starting off? Because right now, I mean, you go on Instagram and you got almost 55,000 followers right now.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's again snowballing and continuing to grow. In terms of when you started, and you're obviously doubling your income every year, what were some of the growing pains that you had to get through, and systems you had to kind of figure out, and things like that? Because I know you said you went around and interviewed everybody.
Yep.
You're like, I'm not doing this, not doing this, not doing this. So you kind of had to. Sounds like you kind of had to tread your own path and go your own way on it and figure it all out, right? Kind of from the get-go. And what were some of those things that you kind of kept running into or had to overcome along the way to get to where you're at right now?
Yeah, so I'm kind of that. I have that personality of an annoying 3-year-old where I push every button and see what happens when I push it. I'm like, wonder what happens if I push that button. So that's pretty much how I became an expert at social media. I just pushed every button. I was like, oh, I wonder what it does if I push it. Oh, I wonder what it does if I do that. So I started on a business page, always had a business page. And that's very, very important because on a business page, you get to see what's called insights. So then I know in the background how each of the posts are doing. I know this didn't work very well, so clearly I shouldn't be doing more of this. And then you post something random, you're like, oh, this did very well, so I should be doing more of this. But you don't get to see insights unless you have a business page. So many of the agents, what they do is like, well, but I don't have any, I'm not going to have any followers on a business page, and I already have 2,000 friends on Facebook, so I'm just going to do business on personal. Well, that's against, first of all, real estate ethics in the first place. Because then once a realtor, always a realtor. So whatever you say on a personal page, it can be used against you. So I don't do business on personal ever. I do business on business. That's number one. Number two, if you don't have a business page for your business because you don't even take your business seriously, but you're expecting your friends to take your business seriously, that you don't even have a business page for your business, I have a hard time with that. So first I pushed every button and I was an individual agent. And as the years went by, and as my success went up and, I needed help, then I started, I got an assistant part-time, then I got a full-time assistant. Every time now I don't even know how many assistants and virtual assistants. And now there's a whole village running the show. But
We'll get to that.
I never given up social media. So that was always my job. I always figured, what else can I remove from my plate that somebody else can do? Because social media is what pays the bills. And again, I'm selling myself. So nobody else can do that job for me. That is one job. Then when I decided to do social media, that is going to be my job until the day I stop doing real estate. Make sense? Because that's what I cannot hire out. So I always tell people do the red light, green light kind of homework, put a line in the middle of the page and put red light, green light. Red light is write down everything that you do in a day. And then red light means I can stop doing that because I can hire that part out right now. Green light means I'm the only one who can do this job. At the end of the week, you know which job you can hire out. And that's pretty much how I run my life of like, what can I remove from my plate so that it gives me more time to do the money-making activities? And for me, the money-making activities is social media. So that always stayed on my plate. And then, so initially I started with removing all paperwork from transactions with a personal assistant. So she helped me, just pretty much a transaction coordinator. And then I had a few of those. Then I hired a buyer's agent. Then I hired Christy, who's my everything doer now, my right hand. And she started with me 6 years ago when I was still an individual agent with a small team. And then that kind of just switched where now we run multiple businesses together and she's my right hand. She runs it all. And I pretty much just coach, mentor. I don't sell real estate personally anymore. I coach, mentor, and we do our boot camp, and that's pretty much what I do. So that's the evolution but systems. Oh gosh, where do I start? Where do I start?
Did you have a hard time hiring your virtual assistants and like just getting comfortable with letting go of things? A lot of people struggle with that.
Oh, I had initially I had, but as soon as you get the understanding, let me tell you this story very quick. So I was thinking that I am the world's best multitasker. I'm a woman. I'm a mom. I can run a load of laundry and have my $1,000 monthly coaching call. So I'm on my monthly coaching call. That's $1,000, okay? While I'm running a load of laundry. Because I can do both. I'm a mom. My coach says, what are you doing? I said, oh, I'm running a load of laundry. She goes, oh, wow, that's not a very expensive load of laundry. And I was like, what does she mean? She's like, instead of running that load of laundry, what if you promised to yourself that you would use that hour to do your thing, that your money-making activity? In my case, it's social media, and somebody else's case might be cold calling. She said, what's your average commission? Like $9,000. Okay, that's a $9,000 load of laundry. Minus paying someone $25 an hour to run that load of laundry. So technically, here I was thinking, I'm great at multitasking. I'm going to save $25 to do that load of laundry. But instead, I lost $8,975 by doing my own load of laundry. So that's the same thing. Very quickly, I realized that how much money can I make in that hour while I hire somebody? But I'm very high D&I. So if you ever taken a disc assessment, I'm sure you have. So I agree with you. I know exactly the pain of like, oh, I can do it better. I don't have time to freaking train you. By the time I train you, I did it 10 times.
Yeah.
I mean, so I did have that initial thought, but now I don't train anymore either. Now I have people that train the people who get hired. Make sense? Yep. So it doesn't take time away for me anymore. But yes, initially it's annoying because if you're high D&I, we are not trainers. Let's just put it that way. Like, I am not the manager kind. I am not the teacher, the patient teacher. You know what I mean?
If you want it done right, you do it yourself.
Exactly. I'm here the highway, get it done in 5 minutes. I don't have patients telling you twice, take freaking notes, don't ask me again, go get it done. And so because that's my personality, at first it was very annoying, but I got over it very fast as soon as I realized how much more money I can make in that hour.
That's one of the big things that I come from a background of. Well, first, I actually had this conversation with my father about 2 weeks ago. He is the epitome of do it yourself.
Yep.
Very successful, but he built his own barn. He built his own kitchen from like literally mahogany floor to ceiling cabinets, built it all himself by hand, does everything, electrical wiring, all the stuff. And he doesn't even do any of that for work. That's not even his work. He just does that because he's the hardest believer of, if you want it done right, you do it yourself. Dug out his entire driveway, poured his driveway, everything. And I had this conversation with him because he's been talking about starting a new business. And I'm like, you got to stop doing these little projects that you can pay people for. It's like, you got to, and it was one thing that hit me just square between the eyes when I started working in real estate and just being around successful entrepreneurs that are making a lot of money and they don't have to go home and do the laundry and do the things because they've changed. And somebody sat down with me and they're like, you have to figure out what you're worth per hour.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, figure out what you can take off your plate that you could just pay somebody else $25, $30, $50 an hour to do so that you can make that money times 10, times 20, times 100 in that same time frame. And that's what really kind of hit home with me was, I got to stop doing those mundane tasks that sure, like maybe I can do it better. Maybe I can't, but
yeah. No, I agree with you on that. I can do anything I set my mind to, and I can probably do it better than 99% of the people, in my opinion, in my mind, in my belief.
Same.
Now, should I be doing that load of laundry? Like, is it really a competition who can do that load of laundry better? No. In the end of the day, that load of laundry is done. In the end of the day, I made more money in my business because I put my effort where I'm best at, not where I can do, because everybody can run a load of laundry.
Yep.
But where else could I be doing where I'm really good at? And also, you know the saying, if you do what you love, you don't work a day in your life. I don't work. I get to do what I love. So I removed everything that I hate doing. Like, I am not detail oriented. Before Christy, I didn't have a freaking file. I don't even know how we got to the closing table, but I did it somehow hundreds of times over. But because everything in my head is organized. But when I don't need to be organized on paper to be organized. I know what's happening in my life at any given moment. But when you're running, the issue you get when you start running multiple different businesses or multiple different avenues in your business, it's impossible. You're going to have systems in places, as you asked me earlier. So as much as I personally don't need systems, I am 100% believer that if you want to run businesses, successful businesses, you have to have systems in order for everybody to know what's going on at any given moment.
Absolutely. Because you have how many people underneath you now in total in all the businesses that you're running?
Oh gosh. Okay. So,
rough guess.
So agents on what we call Team Gogo is almost 500. And in order to run that side of the business, we have
500.
Yes.
Sure. You said, right? You said 500 agents. Okay. Right.
Yeah. So talking systems, I could talk your ears off for systems when it comes to how to run, a large team like that. And then in order to run that side of my business, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 2 virtual assistants, my office manager, 1, 2, and 2 other people, and myself. So 6 people running that side of the business. Mm-hmm. And then on Gogo's bootcamp side of the business, we have about 10 people running that side of the business.
Yeah.
What's your bootcamp basically teaching? What is that about?
So we have 2 different courses inside the bootcamp. It's called Gogo's Bootcamp. So you can look it up. It's gogosbootcamp.com.
I think I've seen some ads for it.
Yeah. And so that one, we have 2 different courses. So the initial course that we came out with about a year and a half ago is my social media course. So that is everything what I know today, the 6 inches between my ears of how I built what I have today with the power of social media, with the multiple revenues of income, how to build teams, how to leverage yourself, how to anything mindset to all the way from the basics of social media, of how to start your your Instagram account and what you need to have in your bio and what are hashtags and, all of those basics, all the way to weekly schedules of what you need to post in order to generate your leads, and pretty much everything. It's hundreds and hundreds of videos. As the market is changing, or as social media is changing, I should say, and the market, because when the market changes, you have to change your social media games, but sometimes social media changes, like the algorithms and things like that, so then you have to adjust your work to adjust it to the market. So it could go either way. So we have hundreds of videos in there for you to have absolutely everything than what I have today. So it's a course where you log in and you watch the videos on your own time. You set everything up on your own time, and hundreds of hours of videos in there now. And then we also do a 1 month monthly group coaching live, where I'm on there. You can ask me absolutely anything in your social media game. It also comes with a Facebook group, so any questions you have, you just post it in the group, and someone from the team or other students will get back to you because they've already been there, done that. So we do a lot of those. And then we have a second course that we came out with, and that is an agent attraction course. So I'm top 0.2% in the company when it comes to.
I just saw you got awarded recently as a top 1/4%. So what does that define you as? Is it a definition of how many people you've brought on?
Yes.
Brokerage, or is it? Okay.
Yeah, it kind of, you get the reward based on two different things: how many you personally brought into the company, and then also how large is your organization. So I personally brought, I've been with the company now just a little over 2 years, and I personally brought over 155 agents, and then the 155 multiplied into almost 500. So that's my overall organization. So you get that based on the percentage of compared to other agents in the company. So out of 50,000,
social media is working because the top 1/4% is the award, which is very definitive. It's not top 1%; it's top 1/4%.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
I can't wait to get
of a percent.
Yeah, exactly. I can't wait to get into the top 0.01% or something like that. It should be by the end of the year here. So the second course pretty much teaches you everything agent attraction. So that's, again, over 100 videos to set up a talking system. So that is a lot of systems. As much as it looks so easy, what I do, it's a show in the background. So there's a lot of website, a lot of links and Calendly links and Google Docs and all of those different things that make it all work seamlessly. And so that's what we teach in the group. That also comes with a private Facebook group, and that also comes with a once a month live. That's a group coaching call as well. Then they can ask me absolutely anything. And my business partner, Sammy. So my business partner, Sammy, he is the ads guru. So I teach everything organic. So in both courses, I teach everything I do, how to do it organically for free with your own brand, and build your own brand, so you can do that. And then Sammy teaches how to do it with money. So we cover it from both sides. Most people don't mind throwing money at an advertising and generating results that way. I don't like spending money. My marketing cost is zero, so I do it organically.
Yeah, I think a lot of agents who start off in the beginning, they have to start organic, not even by choice. Sometimes that's just the circumstances.
That was me.
Yeah, and like you said, if you're using a lot of your hashtags and tagging people and telling people where you're located at, and then connecting with other people in the same state, same city, and they're in different industries, but you can connect on a different circumstance or different.
Yeah, and I don't even like to use location. Like, I'm not limited to location. I don't have to have a license in California to refer a lead out there.
Right.
Well, a ton of my business is referrals. Because they reach out to me, like, oh my gosh, Gogo, I wish you could be our realtors, but we are in North Carolina. But guess what? I have the best top producer in your neck of the woods. Can I make the recommendation? All I need is your name, phone number, and email address. I make the way there.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah, I love those referrals. Easy money.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So what would you say your transaction look like after doing social media for a couple of years? What does your business look like now from when you first started? So I understand when you first started, you said it kind of doubled every year. Did it double because are you putting in full-time work? Are you working part-time, or like what does your day look like when you're trying to hit the kind of goals that you're hitting?
So that's a great question. I kind of forgot about that. So when I got licensed, my boys were 2 and 4 at the time. So I did not have the intentions of working full-time. I just wanted to make extra money so I can go home to Romania every year, so I can afford to go home for 6 weeks in the summer, because the airplane tickets are very expensive, or were very expensive. So that was my initial goal, that and spring break. So I just wanted to make enough money to go home to Romania every summer and spring break. And the kids were, Duke wasn't even going to kindergarten at all. So at first I was home all day with the baby. Kobe, my oldest, would go to, 2 hours a day or something like that. Mm-hmm. Then the next year, Kobe would go full time and Duke would go like 2 hours a day, 2 days a week. And then the year after that, 2 hours a day, 3 days a week. And then the year after that. So not only my year, I think only in year 4 or 5 of my career when my boys were in school full time. Until then, I just kind of worked part time. Whenever I had that 2 hour window when the kids were in school, I would run into the office. Pretty much we did the exchange where, again, I don't like to spend money. So I also don't like to leave my kids with strangers. So I would stay home with them all day. And as soon as my husband walked in on the door, I would hand over the baby. And I said, you watch him, I'm going to show houses. So I pretty much worked evenings and weekends. And if my clients wanted to see something during the day, I would be like, I'm so sorry, I'm booked for the day, but I have a 5:30.
Right.
What I'm doing all day.
You have available. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what I did is I stayed home with them. I did all the social media thing during the day. And then I handed over the babies to Dwayne and did that. So that's why my career took a while. And I was okay with that. I never got into real estate with the idea that I want to have a mega icon team year 1, or I want to have $1 million GCI year 1. Like that was never my idea. But the more you get a taste of money and the more you get, good at it, it becomes easier. So then I work less and make more money every single year. So my goal is to work, my transaction goal personally for this year is 0. So now I'm going back. The way I look at it now, my time is way better spent. If I can teach 500 agents to sell 1 house a month, that's 500 transactions versus me doing my 4, 5 to 8 transactions a month personally. So my goal is, I again, quotes, you can have absolutely anything in life, the more people you have to get what they want. So my goal is to have everybody sell real estate, because with the model that I work in, I also make money through second-handedly that way. And the more people I have, the more people I make. Life is just kind of like a give and take.
Yeah, to a degree, it sounds like it's almost as you're basically setting up other agents for success underneath you, it becomes almost passive income. Right?
Exactly.
You're doing a lot of the brunt work early on, but then it's just continual money that's going to keep coming in because you've invested in them.
Exactly. So I went to, are you guys familiar with Tony Robbins?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So I went to a lot of his events, and one year I was at Business Mastery, and I walked in there thinking like, I own this place because I made very good money that year, and I'm a foreigner, and how much money does one really need to make? And, I was like, I did this, like, I'm good. Oh, okay. Well, I realized at that event that all my eggs were in one basket. So if what do they say? If that ship sinks, it's all going bye-bye. Yep. So I had to very quickly figure out, okay, what are the other avenues of how I can make money besides commission? Because yes, I make very good money, but it's 100% commission. So that can't happen. And then also at that event, I learned that an average multimillionaire has 6 to 7 ways of income, and they only trade their time for one. So I was like, oh, I need to figure out how to make passive income or horizontal money. I want to make money while I'm horizontal.
Yep.
And that's when I realized, okay, I have to have an exit strategy, because as long as I am my business, nobody's buying that book of business. You know how that goes. Try to sell a brokerage. It's not worth what you think it's worth.
It's not going to really work unless there's a monthly subscription of income coming in, because the valuation's all messed up. It doesn't work off commission.
Does the thought of buying a home stress you out? Call Elementary Lending. The mortgage process can be stressful and intimidating, but we are not your parents' mortgage company. Our cutting-edge technology has simplified the mortgage process, and our licensed experts are available 24/7 to educate you from start to finish. Call 8332-APPLY now and get an answer in minutes. The process has never been easier. That's 8332-APPLY now, or apply online at elementarylending.com. Elementary Lending, home financing simplified. Equal housing lender, NMLS number 1321438.
Exactly. So I had to figure out to have something to sell at the end of my career, or not having to sell, but have income coming in. So I figured that part out. I also had to figure out passive. So I was done trading time for money. And then I had to figure out multiple revenues of income. So after that event, I came back and I pretty much just wrote a plan of how I think we're going to get there. And as of today, I probably have over 20 different sources of income. every single month. I would say 18.
So after this event, what year was this in that you went to this event? How long ago was that?
3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago.
So in 3 years, have you established in 3 years 20 sources of income, or did you already have a couple more prior to that?
At that time, I only had commissions.
Okay, so you went from commissions, go to this course, and now you have 20 streams of income. Everyone's going to be like, tell me exactly how you break it.
And I said at that course that I'll be a millionaire by the time I'm 40, and I had millionaire 30, just a little over, almost just a hair before 39.
You're about to sell out Tony Robbins' next event.
I know, he's awesome. I mean, every time I make money, I'm like, I should cut that man a check, because I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for him, But so I came back with a plan. I have to have multiple sources of income. I have to leverage. I have to make passive money, and that was it. I just figured it out.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, that was one thing personally when I was, like Mark had mentioned, I was in the golf business for a long time. Have been at some of the top courses in the world.
By the way.
And but the fortunate thing was I was able to spend time with, golf with, eat dinner, lunch with these people that are doing that times 100 times a million people that are like, I can't tell you how many billionaires I played golf with. It's a lot.
That's amazing. You're the average of the 5 people you hang out with.
Yeah, I wish I could still be hanging out with them all the time, but they think on definitely just a different wavelength and their conversations are different. That's the biggest thing I noticed early on was their conversations are completely different. And it really hit me. I was like, I can't be in this business and end up where they're at, because not a single one of them comes from a golf background. They just do.
I remember when I said my very first time I set my goal to, I want to make over 6 digits. So I was like, I'm not going to settle for 100. I'm going to do 150. So I said it out loud. I'm going to make $150,000 this year. This is like year 4 in my career. My coach says, why did you limit yourself? I was like, look at me. I went 50,000 above 6 digits. And she's like, why did you limit yourself to 150? And that was my realization of like, we set our own ceiling. Whatever you believe you can do. But you set that belief for yourself. So why did you set that?
I can't agree with you more. I can't agree with you more on that, because you know how you were discussing about personalities, and you probably remember at a lot of times they were turning people away, saying, hey, you don't have the personality to be successful. And all those people went somewhere else where someone told them the truth and said, no, it's actually in your own mind frame, in your own mindset. So if you really want to do it, regardless of what your personality is like, you can do it if you want.
There's our people out there. I always say I'm looking for the person who's looking for me. I don't want to work with Joe Schmo who doesn't like me. Like, I don't like you then. If you don't like me, I probably won't like you. We are not alike. That's why you don't like me.
Yeah.
And I want to work with you. That's the awesome part with social media. I get to work with whoever already knows that loves me. I don't have a listing presentation because I don't have to have one. They know they want to work with me before I ever step a foot in on the door.
Yeah.
So that removes all the assholes, excuse my French, that I don't have to work with. So I get to do what I love.
This is Keith Stonehouse, Mr. Title with FranklinTitleAgency.com. Closing anywhere, anytime in the state of Michigan with no upcharge every time. The beautiful thing about Franklin is that if you're selling your home, you don't have a closing fee. Try to find that with any other title insurance company. FranklinTitleAgency.com. Click on Get a Quote and learn about all the costs associated with buying, selling, or refinancing a home today in the state of Michigan. You can find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and anywhere else on social media. Look for Keith Stonehouse or Franklin Title Agency, 248-564-4022.
Yeah. You get to pick your clients before having to really pick your clients.
Yeah.
That's a great way. And that I've always said, when you're on social media, you get to kind of introduce yourself to people without having to introduce yourself to people. So exactly. People will decide early on whether they like you or not without ever having to even meet you, which is one of the greatest things of social media, is that ability to just build that connection with people, and you don't even know who you're building connections with, but people are watching you, people are following you. Especially when you said when you're giving them the good, bad, and ugly, then they really start to feel like they know you on a more personal level, and they, I'm sure you get it all the time, where you get messages or calls, and like, we love what you following you, we love you, like, or we want to work with you, and you've never met this person.
Yeah, even out of the 155 agents that I personally brought to the company, I would say 90% of them I've never met. And I would say probably 5% I met after they already joined in business with me. And 5% I still don't know today. I've never met them. And that's the power of social media.
Yeah.
Social media is really good, especially if you are. How much content do you produce on a typical weekly basis? What would you say?
So it's my job, you remember? So this is what I do for a living. So I post anywhere from once or twice a day on my feed, and then I post anywhere from 10 to 15 times a day in my stories.
In your stories, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now we talked a lot about there's a lot of positivity and a lot of potential gain through doing the right social media activities. What do you? Just a question: how do you handle all the trolls and the crazy people that message you and just what they do? Trolls know what they do.
That was one of my questions I was going to be bringing up.
Oh, I actually don't get much of that, to be honest with you, because very early on, I train my people. You know what I mean? You'll know what my limit is, and I can tell you a story. I used to wake up in the morning to a different kind of selfie getting from men, good morning, if you know what I mean. So different head was in the picture.
Yeah.
Not head, a different head. And I was like, if one more guy sends me a good morning, I swear I'm going to lose it. And then I get an idea. Oh, hold on a minute. Okay. You want to do it? Do it. But I will share it. And I will tag you.
Yeah, that'll probably stop them pretty quick.
Ask me if I ever got one again. Never. Never got one.
So you did resolve it, though. That's what I'm saying. You had to create some disciplinary action. You do something about it, because you can't just sit there silently. There's a lot of Facebook trolls out there that just do a lot of damage. So I just wanted to kind of get your insight on that. So there is a way to handle it.
Absolutely. And now a lot of my pictures get stolen and a ton of fake accounts are created. So if anybody out there thinking that they're talking to me, the only way you will be talking to me is through Gogo's Real Estate. And I do stories all the time, which means you're going to see me talking on that account. You hear the voice and the face, all that at the same time.
That's why you're saying it's important for you to create your own stories so that you know who's the authentic.
And I do have a verified account, and I thought that would fix the problem, but it didn't. Actually, now more accounts get created on Facebook and things like that. So, and it's mostly like they're selling Bitcoin, and I don't even know what they're selling. I feel bad for the people, and I hope nobody ever is going to fall for them. And pretty much just know that you're talking to me if you see me in my stories, like actually talking. But now they got smarter. Now they steal my stories, screen record it, and post it into their account. So I don't know. I try to report them every time. I ask my audience to report them all the time. And Facebook tells me every time that it's not against their policy. So I don't know what to tell you. But they can only do, you know what I mean? I would need a full-time job of trying to report these accounts on a daily basis. Then I get notified for all of the fake accounts. So there are certain things you can do and certain things you can't. And I can't fight that fight. It's a little bit above me. I'm so set to try to control that thing that's out there on the market. So you just control what you can.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, give us a little bit of you don't have to give us super detailed, but obviously when you started, you like you said, you like to push all the buttons and figure out what was working and what wasn't. And now you probably have a pretty good idea. I'm sure you're still trying new things and expanding, but you have a pretty good system and idea of things that you're posting and how you post it, right? What does that kind of break down in a week? I know you said you're try to post 1 to 2 times a day, 10 to 15 times in your story. What's the content look like, though, that you try to, do you have like a system that you try to follow? Are there certain things you're trying to post throughout the week? How does that work?
Yeah, so we do it multiple different ways on different platforms. So I start with Instagram. Every time I post is on Instagram, and it automatically feeds over to my business page on Facebook. So these are both business pages. Instagram linked to Facebook. So when I post, automatically feeds over there. Then my virtual assistant takes it from Facebook and post it onto LinkedIn. So just copy and paste, take the picture, the video, post it onto LinkedIn, and do the same, blah, blah, blah. So then we hit all 3 platforms at the same time, because LinkedIn, you cannot link to Facebook or Instagram just yet. So that's still a manual step. Right. Then in business, so the 2 platforms, my Facebook has things on it that my Instagram doesn't. So that's another thing. You have to figure out how you fit into these different sites. So, for example, when I'm traveling, I'm in my bikini top and I'm talking about working from the beach, that is not a LinkedIn material. Okay, so even though I would want to talk about working from the beach, I'm probably not going to be in my bikini top on LinkedIn. Okay, it's perfectly fine for Instagram, post and story. On Facebook, I would probably only do a story. I would not post it to the actual feed. And on LinkedIn, I wouldn't post it at all. Right. Except we kind of have to feel, right. So we kind of have to feel, okay, what kind of post am I doing today, and how does that fit in to all of these different platforms that I'm on? Then
you have to know your audience, right? You have to know your audience. Yeah.
And that's too. What is your audience responding to? And on Facebook, we do things. We have a weekly schedule where our Gogo's real estate team is my local real estate team here in Michigan. So on there, our agents have a schedule to post. So every Monday, they post a listing, and this is all from KV Core. So KV Core is our CRM program. It's one of the best I've ever had, because every company gives you a website and they give you a CRM program. But this one has a lead capturing ability. So you can literally look and capture every single eyeball ever looks at anything that I'm posting, because I don't post to post, because I don't have anything else going on today. There's a reason why we are posting. I want to know who's on the market for what. So let's say Mondays we post a listing that we find that we like. It's a KV Core link, which is my own link. When you click it and you look through it, it's going to show you the first 3 photos. Then it's going to ask you to log in with Facebook. You are going to be like, I'm not giving you my name and email address. I'm just going to log in with Facebook. But guess what you gave, Mark, to Facebook? Your name and email address. Yeah. And based on that email address, if you have registered that same email address on Facebook, or you registered that same email address on LinkedIn, I'll know, or Google, I know all of those accounts about you as soon as your profile hit my CRM program. So now I don't have to send you a boring email. I won't, because 99% of the emails don't get opened. How many unopened text messages you have?
A handful. Fortunately, I can preview some of them and see if they're BS or not, right?
But you only have a handful of them because you're on this podcast. As soon as you're off the podcast, you're going to check it, correct? Yeah. So at any given time, you don't really have unopened text messages. Like I have 95,315 unopened emails.
That's about where I'm at.
Yeah. So that's the difference. So now I don't ever send a boring email. That's not how I use my CRM program. We do Safi style videos. As soon as the lead comes in, it's set up automatic, and it will go to your, if you have your cell phone number, it will go out as a text message. It automatically goes out as an email as well. But what our team is trained to do is we have this option for more. They click it and it's going to show me your Facebook account. It's going to show me your LinkedIn account. So what do you think the chances are that if I sent you on Facebook Messenger, how many unopened messages you have on Facebook Messenger? Probably same as text.
Yeah.
Correct? Yeah. Just because you haven't had a chance to check it, but by the end of the day, you will. Correct? You're not going to leave it unopened.
That's true.
Yeah. That's because people check it. So that's why we send a text message, then we send a Facebook and a LinkedIn follow-up video message that goes out automatically to everybody in our database. Now, if I sent you a video and I said, hey, Mark, I saw that this is 2 seconds from the moment you looked at 123 Main Street. You're going to get a video from me say, hey, Mark, I saw that you looked at 123 Main Street. Are you on the market? We are holding an open house this weekend. I'm personally going to be there. It's Saturday from 11 to 2. If that time doesn't work for you, I'm also open today from 5 to 9. I would be more than happy to take you on a private showing. Does that time work for you? What do you think are the chances of no, I don't want to work with you? People have a much harder time saying no to another human being when you actually get to see them.
Yep.
Other than that, is just
hide behind a text, and you see when people say phone conversation.
Yeah, I don't type up a text. I send you a video.
Yeah. And
then they are like, whoa, that was quick. And that's weird. You called me by my name. You sent me a video. You're right on it. So that's what we do. Mondays, a listing. Tuesdays, one of my listings, as long as they are still on the market. Wednesdays, do search for homes. Thursdays, we do open houses. These are the open houses for Livingston County for the weekend. And then Fridays, we do how much your home is worth. And we do that every single week. So to our client, it might not look like it's a schedule, but it's a schedule. And that's on Facebook. On Instagram, now if you're talking about multiple revenues of income, Facebook, it's mostly commissions. Instagram, we do a lot of promotional things too. So every Tuesday, I promote a company. And now if I ever promote a product or a business or a service, I only promote the ones I use, because otherwise no. And only if I have an affiliate link with them. So anything I ever promote, you'll see that there is a Gogo discount code. So my followers get a discount by using my link versus if they went directly to the website. If they went direct to the website, they would be paying full price. If they're using my link, they get 10% off. Plus, I make a certain percentage on every sale that I generate to any of these companies. So that is one of my income sources, and we have multiple. You can check some of them out on my links in my Instagram bio. And so we do that every single Tuesday. We promote a business, and it's also a giveaway. So I don't just promote the business with, oh, hey, check out this company. It's usually a giveaway where people have to follow me and they have to follow that business. And then we draw a winner by the end of the week. And then the winner gets one free item or whatever that business is giving away. And then also the rest of them will get the 10% off if they want to use your services. So we do that every Tuesday. Every Thursday, we do an Amazon affiliate. Amazon, if you have a certain amount of followers, you can create an Amazon store. Ask me what I store for Amazon. Nothing, not a single thing. But I get paid anywhere from 2 to 10% every time I generate something. So let's say I got a deck furniture, then we got it from Amazon. So that's why I'm thinking of that. And then I'm going to say, take a quick little video on my deck on Thursday and be like, hey guys, this is the furniture that we got. It was very affordable. It's very cushiony. It's whatever you're talking about. And then I do a swipe up with a direct link to that couch. But let's say, Mark, you go on there and you say, I don't like this couch, but you very quickly realize that you need dog food and vitamins for the kids. And then you're going to put that in your cart and you're going to order it. Well, because it looks at where the traffic was generated from, you're considered now my customer. And Amazon would pay me anywhere from 2 to 10% on everything that you bought, even though you didn't buy the couch that I was promoting. But you used my link. I generated you over to Amazon, and they're going to pay me a certain percentage on anything you buy.
Is this in your boot camp? Is this one of the things it is included in? Okay.
Yeah. Everything I do is in the boot camp. It's years and years and years worth of videos that we added on. So I don't do anything without an affiliate link. So it's another revenue of income.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now, have you guys expanded your horizons now to, so I know Clubhouse is becoming a big thing in the social media world, as well as TikTok is now the new, pastime. Are you guys looking to starting to expand into those realms?
I didn't do TikTok. I downloaded TikTok and then I saw a bunch of videos of feeding you information to China. So I took TikTok off. Not like they don't feed you information anywhere nowadays, but I just took it off. I just put it back on because our friends always send us like these funny videos and I can never really watch it. So I'm like, okay, I'll just put it back on. I don't use TikTok for sales and marketing purposes because it's not my audience. Yeah, I mean, I'm not, my average person in my audience is 35 to 45 years old. And so a bunch of 18 years old in California is probably not going to buy a house from me anytime soon.
So I have to kind of like this. I was 100% with you. Literally, I was like, TikTok's the dumbest thing. It's just a bunch of kids running around. My girlfriend had posted one video of her dog. Her sister talked her into it. It got like 2 million views in like a couple days. Yeah. And she's like, you should just like jump on there. And she was showing me all these videos. I'm like, I'll try it out. And I posted one video and overnight it went to like 15,000 views within like a couple of days. I had like 150,000 views. I had like over 10,000 followers. And I'm like, what is going on with this TikTok thing? And then I get all these, I linked my Instagram to my TikTok and I start getting all these people messaging me at real estate questions. And
that's
then like,
so if you can do that, yeah, absolutely do it. If there's a way for you to figure out how to generate those into clients or at least your friends or grow your
already gotten some referrals out of it. And
continue doing
that. And the crazy thing is again, I was like, it's just a bunch of 18-year-olds and it's literally like people that are 35 to even like 60 years old. And people all the time are like, oh yeah, my dad's on TikTok like 24/7.
That's awesome. I mean, TikTok is a great platform. For me, the other reason, I'm not artistic like that. So I don't like creating and thinking about, oh, where am I going to cut it and how long I'm going to put music on it. And I don't dance and jump into shoes. And, it's just not my personality.
I won't do that either.
If I say something is going to be a straight video, I'm just going to tell you how I feel, shoot, post. Like I don't even edit anything I post. So it's just not my platform, but nothing wrong with it. YouTube is another awesome one to be on. It's just, you have to pick the one. I've been saying that I need to go on YouTube, and I have hundreds and hundreds, if not probably thousands, of all of the different videos that I created that we host on YouTube, but they're all private. So I don't have my YouTube channel worked out to what it should be or could be. But that would be another awesome one. So if you want to do YouTube, it's a great one to do. And it's very simple, leverage it. That's what I need to do. I'm telling you what to do. I need to leverage that too. I need to hire somebody to take all the videos and post it for me and use the right wording and all that. I just didn't get to it, but it's definitely a great one to use as well.
Yeah, that's one. We had guy Ken Pozek he's originally from Michigan. He's now down in Orlando, and he's quickly growing his YouTube channel. I think he just hit 10,000 followers or subscribers on YouTube, all real estate related.
Over 1 million views as well.
Yeah, over 1 million views total, and he's hit that market. And it's funny because a couple of his videos, like people are walking up to him and like, "Hey, you're that real estate guy," and but he's hired people to shoot it and edit it and do it all. So he just shows up and does the video. But he puts out some good content, interesting content, and it's did the walkthrough like Shaq's house that he's selling, and then Ryan Serhant did a video of his video, like reacting to his video. So it just he's growing pretty quick. I think he's on that hockey stick. I don't know if you've heard that term, but like where you're slowly going and then you hockey stick up. I think he's finally hit that hockey stick and kind of figured out his little niche there in the YouTube game.
Yeah, and YouTube is an amazing one to do. It's just, what do you have time for? Which means I need to remove something else from my plate so that I can make time for YouTube. It's really what it comes down to.
Yep. Yeah, you got to, and I always tell people too, you might see somebody getting success in one area, and that's great. Yeah. But if you continually chase what one person's successful in, another person's successful in, you're never going to be successful in one thing because you're never applying fully the 80-20 rule and sticking to that 20% of the activities you have to do that get you 80% of your results. Yeah. And so many people are just in that 80, they kind of pedal around in the 80% that only get them the 20% of the results that they actually want. And, you've obviously found that the social media aspect is your 20%. That's getting you the 80% of all the results that you're looking for.
Yeah, it's my only percent. It's the only thing I do. Everything that any podcast I get invited on is because of social media. Any agent that joins is because of social media. Every lead that we generate is because of social media. Every booth camp we sell is because of social media. Every event I speak at is because of social media. It's everything I do is social media. So social media is my only job. Everything else is the effect of that.
Yeah, and again, that's not for everybody. That's you've niched that and you've kind of taken it and started to perfect it. And but I know people that are wildly successful doing cold calls every day, and that's their niche, and they do it.
And that's if you love doing that, it's not that I couldn't do it. I can if my kids are starving, I'll cold call. My kids are not starving, thank God. You know what I mean? But what I mean is that if that's what you love doing, do that. For me, that would be freaking torture. Could I do it? Yes, because my kids will not starve. I will do whatever it takes to have the life that I want. But if I get to choose of working because I have to or working because I get to do what I love. And that would not be cold calling for me. But for somebody else, social media might be torture. Yeah.
So now, if I have my timelines right, you got a couple of teenagers, right, in high school?
Yeah, so I have Kobe's going to be 14 in July and Duke's going to be 12. So kind of almost both teenagers, but one is a teenager, one is acting like one.
So that's got to be, kind of changing your day to day, and what's that like now having two almost teenager?
Like I actually had a conversation yesterday with Kobe because Kobe is my child who's who loves, I don't want to say he loves money, but he loves and wants to have money and understands that you have to work for it. And he's only 13, technically. He's going to be 14 in July. And he's like, Mom, I want a job. Like, what can I do? So we sat down yesterday and I said, okay, I'm going to look through all of my businesses and see if there's any monthly reoccurring. Maybe there's a report that you could run for me. Maybe there are some photos that when we're introducing agents or someone had an anniversary in our team or someone capped or iconed or birthdays, we celebrate all of those things. I said, maybe you could create those. They're a template. So you just drag a photo and plug it in here and, change the numbers and names. So maybe he could do things like that. So he's ready to work, and I think he's going to be my little entrepreneurial child. They can stay home alone now, so it's totally different. I can also take him with me anywhere I go because they'll just do this the whole time. So they don't bother much.
Yeah.
Not like they're hanging off of a chandelier and playing ping pong and chasing someone's dog, in the middle of a meeting. Like, those days are long gone. So now I can just do whatever I want. But slowly, I think it's going to change where they get implemented into the business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's just tax write-off for you too, when you can hire your own kids.
I've been using them for postcards and lifting envelopes and giving out business cards, giving out water bottles at like soccer teams and games and things like that we've used to sponsor. So they've been working on that level. But now we actually have to sit in front of the computer or do like that kind of stuff is what excites me now. And they want to. So they want to be in the business. So that's kind of exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So we always like to kind of always pull things around and wrap up our podcasts with just kind of one. It's like a blanket statement, but it's one we try to get kind of a unique perspective from different people from different walks, and kind of so far in your life, and you can kind of take it the way you want. But what's one thing, like if you had to pick one thing that you've learned that's kind of gotten you from point A to point B from where you're at, what would be that one thing that you've learned that you could potentially give off to somebody else and maybe they can take and run with that too?
Well, I was not prepared for this question, so I'm going to go the first thing off my mind.
Okay, good.
My mom always said, "Oh, child, you're going to get it because of your mouth." Like my mom always said, "I wish you had an off button. You would just talk and talk and talk, never shut up." And in a way, that is the reason who I am today. Me never shutting up, never taking no for an answer, never settling for just because somebody thought it should be a certain way. I will just talk to you until you say yes. You know what I mean? So I think for me is my mouth that in some ways could be a negative, to learn to use it for the positive. I'm not saying there are times when I said something that came out before my brain could tell my mouth not to say it, but it was too late. I already said it. And now I'm like, shoot, what are we going to do? But I think that for me is the freedom of speech in this country, that you truly get to create of who you are. And I like to use that freedom to talk myself into or out of any situation that it presented itself, or maybe it didn't present itself, and I'll just flat out ask for it.
Yeah.
With my mouth.
Yeah, I love that you're
then I'll say, how about now? 5 minutes later, how about now? And now another minute went by, how about now? Like, I am that annoying 3-year-old. Like, I will annoy you until you say yes.
Yeah.
There's no in my books. There's just, how are we going to figure it out?
Yeah.
There's always a way.
That's true. That's so true.
That's good. That's valuable because you're also demonstrating the mindset. It's a relentless. You're going to keep going. You're going to keep doing what you have to do. That mindset is just it's solid. That's where it starts. And I think that being truthful and being transparent nowadays is so welcome, and it's becoming the new norm of what people expect. And they're tired of don't give us any kind of salesy crap and just give us the real story.
And you can ask anyone, like Christy, my right-hand girl always says, "Don't make me send Gogo on you." They're like, "Oh my gosh, don't let Gogo call me." Then when I coach, you can ask anyone in my coaching programs. Like I will tell you how I really feel. Like You don't pay thousands of dollars just because you want me to fluff your feathers. Like, that's not how it works. I'm going to call you right out on it. I'm going to tell you what you're not doing right. I'm going to tell you how I really feel. I don't sugarcoat things. But I do that with the right intentions. I'm not in it to hurt your feelings. I'm in it to help you, get you out of that, snap you out of that, whatever limitations you set to yourself.
Yep.
It's awesome.
That's awesome. So you're definitely the walking kind of the poster child for living the American dream, right? Coming over to America and making it and really showing people what it's like to come out from basically nothing and become, a super success and live your dream of getting to do what you love every single day.
Yes.
Which is awesome.
And I have to do that because I don't really have another choice, in a sense. Like, I left everyone behind and I feel like I need to make them proud. You know, I mean, if I left my mom, my dad, my sister, my whole life, I mean, I don't get to go over to my mom's house on Sunday and have a bowl of soup. I don't get to see them for my birthday or their birthdays. I don't get to spend Christmas together. I haven't seen my family in almost 3 years. So with all that being said, at least have something to freaking show for why I left them all behind.
Yeah.
I didn't came here to be mediocre. If I wanted to be mediocre, I don't have to fly halfway around the freaking globe to do that. I could have stayed home and picked my nose all day and changed the channel on TV. You can do that anywhere. You don't have to come to America for that.
Yeah.
I mean, so for me, it's not an option. I have to come out as a winner.
And you'd only be famous on TikTok for picking your nose and changing the channel.
You might be on TikTok.
10 million followers doing that. But you wouldn't have any real estate passive income, though.
Not that. Maybe not that.
You wouldn't have 20 businesses or anything like that. Nothing like that would happen. But
Yeah. But so that's my thing. I am chasing that American dream. I'm always constantly chasing what is my next level, because I always look at things like, if I can do this, then what else can I do?
Yeah.
So what is my next level? My husband one time asked me long time ago, is it ever going to be good enough for you? And it did stop me in my track and make me think, is something wrong with me? And I said, no, never is going to be good enough. And I'm okay with that. It's never going to be good enough. I'm never going to be like, sit back and be like, I made it. I arrived.
Yep.
No, then I would have set my limitation for myself. That's my ceiling, and I don't have a ceiling.
Yep, always pushing through, which is awesome.
let's see what else you can do. We'll be following your journey, so we'll be catching up with you from time to time and ask you. So you're on the 52nd business now. Tell us, how many VAs do you have now?
I'm just trying to keep up with Tony Robbins. I just hired a new VA yesterday. I'm so excited.
There you go. You're already on track.
Yeah.
Leverage. I love it.
Yeah, you have to. You can't grow. I can't allow it to take time away from my family.
Yeah, it sounds like that's been a staple point the whole time, is that you haven't neglected your family or,
Like, we just moved down. We were in Florida for 5 months, and
I was going to ask you about that. You were just down there for a couple months.
Yeah. So in the middle of COVID, we realized, you know what? Is there Wi-Fi? I can work from there. So I can work from the beach. So we packed up our family, dogs and kids and everybody, and moved down to Florida for 5 months. So I am in it to have a good life. Like, I'm not in it to work myself to death. Yeah. I mean, that is not my goal. My goal is to make as much money as possible, have the lifestyle and the American dream, and work as little as possible.
So you're striking a balance, right? You're constantly striking a balance while you're setting these audacious goals and you're going after what you are dreaming about.
My kids, I pick up my kids. I don't work weekends. I actually took Mondays and Fridays off. So I book myself solid for Mondays, Fridays, so nobody can book into my calendar. I only do one podcast every Tuesday, booked out for months. I do one promotion on Tuesday, one promotion on Thursday. I have a team meeting. My Wednesdays are all team meetings. And that's pretty much it. I work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I'm glad we got you on this podcast, and we did book you weeks in advance too. So we're telling the truth.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, we are. I think now, I don't know what Mariana said, but I want to say it's probably June something that we are booking for now.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So,
good for you.
Hey,
really proud of you.
We appreciate you coming on with us, and we learned a lot, and I'm sure the viewers are going to take a lot away from this. So again, let the viewers know where they can find you at, where they can reach you at, and if they want to join our coaching program, where are they going to do that?
Awesome. So you can find, if you want to talk to me directly on every other platform, including I haven't read an email, guys, in years. I don't need my LinkedIn. So if you want to talk to me directly, It's Gogo's Real Estate on Instagram. That's the only one that I personally read. Every other account, I have virtual assistants on. Number one. Number two, if you want to get the social media course, that's called gogosbootcamp.com. If you want to get the agent attraction course, that's gogosbootcamp.com/AA. Those are two different websites, kind of. And I think that's it. I don't coach anymore unless you're a business partner of mine. So I used to coach for money. Now I don't do that anymore. Now I coach for free.
That's awesome.
So all of our Team Gogo members they decided to bring their businesses over to be with me at our brokerage. They pretty much just I train their team. I train pretty much everybody. All I do is now train and coach and do one-on-one calls to help others. That's what I love to do. So
that is amazing. Well, again, I'm sure we'll be seeing you all over social media, and hopefully we can get you back on again, circle back, and see how much more you've grown in that time frame.
Thank you guys for having me. If there's anything that I can help you with, don't hesitate. We are actually in each other's neck of the woods, kind of. So if there's any way I can help you guys, just let me know.
Same.
Sounds
awesome.
good.
Thanks
for tuning into What I've Learned podcast today with us and our special guest Gogo and co-host Grant Krautfeld. Follow us again on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You can literally find us everywhere now. We also have a Facebook business page for What I've Learned podcast if you have to send us any direct messages or get in touch with us. So thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.